Hello everyone and welcome back to the Science Corner. Grab your Pebbles, Sand, and Silt kit. You will need your notebook and your pencil and your Pebbles, Sand, and Silt book. That's all you're going to need from your kit today. For today, we're going to be discussing how people use earth materials. Remember, earth materials are things like rocks, water, and pebbles, anything that comes from the earth. So how do you think people use those? Right, we use them to build things. So people who build things from earth materials are called engineers. Engineers have built almost everything. They take earth materials and use them to design new things. The earth materials help because they know how strong they are. Can you think of an example of an earth material being used by people? I can think of lots of ways we use rocks, like in the sidewalk or in brick walls. Our walls here at school are made of brick, which means they're made from rocks. For today, we're doing a special day where we're going on a field trip. Your field trip will be around your area. I'm also going to take the video around the school to show you our school field trip and what that would look like. So in your science notebook, go ahead and open it up to Rocks in Use, this table. Before we do our field trip, we're going to make a hypothesis. Remember what I said we're doing today? What we're going to do? We're looking for ways that people use earth materials. So what we're going to do is look around for ways people use earth materials. So when we look for ways people use earth materials, that's what we're going to do. What do you think is going to happen? Right, I think we're going to find some. We will find some. Don't forget to write how you know. How do you know we're going to find some? Because I've seen them before. I know this because I have seen them before. I can remember looking on concrete and seeing little rocks in the concrete, so I know I've seen rocks in concrete. Okay, so during our field trip, we're going to use this chart. It says what we're going to look at. We're going to look at a brick wall, concrete steps, plant pots, playground, the sidewalk, and trash can. Those are where we're going to look. If you don't have these at your house, that's okay. Skip them while you're on your tour and then go back and do them from the video. What we're looking for is clay, sand, gravel, pebbles, and cobbles. Remember, cobbles are really big pebbles. At the bottom it says concrete and mortar contain gravel, sand, and cement powder. Cement powder is made out of clay. So when we see those things, we're going to know that they have clay in them. All right, ready to go on our field trip? Let's go. Okay, so now I'm outside and I'm going to start looking for the things on my list. So the first thing on my list I have is a brick wall, which I have right here. So I know because of what it says at the bottom, it contains gravel, sand, and cement powder, which is clay. So I'm going to put a mark on clay, sand, and gravel. And I'm going to look at the wall and see if I see anything else in here. So I'm going to take a really close look at these bricks. I can see that there's some really tiny pebbles in here, but I don't see any cobbles in this wall. So I have almost everything filled out for that one. Now I'm going to look for concrete steps. Now we don't have any steps at school because we have a wheelchair accessible school, so there are no concrete steps at school, but I'm going to use the curb. Okay, so now we have our concrete step. Remember I said we were going to use the curb for this. I can see that it is made out of concrete. which has cement powder, so clay, sand, and gravel. I can also see that it has lots of pebbles in it, and maybe a few cobbles as well. I don't see any rocks in here. It looks like it's pretty small for the rocks. Like the cobbles seem to be the biggest ones. All right, let's go find our next thing. Okay, so now I have my plant pot. My plant pot is made out of concrete. So do you remember what was in concrete? Right, we have the clay, the sand, and the gravel. And you might find a plant pot that's made out of something else. That's okay, you can mark that down. This one doesn't have any big rocks or anything in it. It just has soil and dirt in it. So I'm just going to leave it at that, and I'm gonna look for our next thing. Now I'm on the playground and I'm looking for natural resources on our playground. And there aren't any cobbles, pebbles, gravel, sand. There's no rocks here. I haven't been able to find any. However, I did notice that the ground is made out of wood, which is a natural resource. So I'm going to write wood at the end, and I'm going to mark wood for the playground. Okay, let's go on to our next one. All right, the next thing on my list is the sidewalk. So I'm looking at the sidewalk, and I know that it has clay, sand in it because it says that at the bottom. The concrete has that. And I can see that there are pebbles, and I can see some cobbles in there too, some really big pebbles in there. And maybe even a few rocks, like even bigger ones. So I'm gonna write rocks at the end and mark rocks as well. Now I'm gonna look at my trash can. Okay, so now I found our trash can. This trash can, even though it looks like it's made out of wood, it's actually made out of plastic. So this is a man-made material, so on our list, there is nothing to check on this list if you use this trash can. You may be able to find a different trash can that maybe has wood or even cement on it, but for the trash can here at school, we don't have any marks. Hello everyone, welcome back. Now let's fill out the rest of our hypothesis. When we look for ways people use earth materials, we will find some. I know this because I have seen them before. Were we able to find some? Yes. Yes. We could see earth materials in the man-made things. Now that I finished my hypothesis, I'm going to grab my Pebbles, Sand, and Silt book, and I'm going to open it to page 31, Making Things with Rocks. Follow along as I read it. If you have notes you want to take, write them down in your science notebook. Page 31, Making Things with Rocks. People use rocks to make things. A quarry is a place where people dig rocks out of the ground. Look how deep this quarry is. There's a dump truck down here and it looks like a little toy. Look how tiny the people are. Big pieces of rock are used to make big things. Statues and churches are often made from rock. People make things out of rock because it lasts a long time. This is the Lincoln Memorial. And this is a church made out of rock. You can even see rocks in it. Pebbles and gravel are part of the mixture called asphalt. Asphalt is used to pave streets and playgrounds. That's that blacktop we see. Gravel and sand are used to make sidewalks. The gravel and sand are mixed together with cement and water. Cement is like glue. It holds the mixture together. When the mixture gets hard, it makes concrete. Even the tiniest rocks are useful. Clay is made up of rocks that are tinier than sand. They're so small that you can't see only one rock with your eyes. People mold clay into many shapes. They're making pots. Clay is used to make bricks. Bricks are used to make walls and buildings. Bricks are used to make walking paths too. The bricks are held together with concrete mortar. Look at the mortar between the bricks. It is made of cement and sand. Some bricks are made of concrete. They are called cinder blocks. How are cinder blocks and bricks the same? How are they different? What do you think? How are these cinder blocks different than the bricks? They're a different color, and these look more rough, and these look more smooth. So tinier rocks make smoother bricks. Whatever their size, rocks are useful. People make lasting and beautiful things from rocks. Thank you for joining me in the Science Corner. It's time to clean up. So let's put our book back. We will put our notebook and pencil back. We're going to grab our list of materials and go over what we will need for our next lesson. So we are on Investigation 3, and we're going to be doing Part 2 next time, Observing Sandpaper. We're going to need our notebook. We're going to need our set of sandpaper. Those are these 3 papers that are all paper clipped together. We're going to need our hand lens, like a little magnifying glass. We're going to need our pencil and crayons. We're going to need our bag of clean sand. So your bags, you're going to look for one that says clean sand. I found mine. It has a little piece of tape on it and it says clean sand. We're going to need this, so I'm going to put that on top. And we're going to need some of our word long words. Thank you for joining me in the Science Corner. Keep learning. I'll see you next time. Bye.